I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer, great one. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
It's 1 in the afternoon and it's pajamas, Cappy, because today and probably tomorrow I have 2 legit days off doing nothing. Except maybe the occasional video. No gym, no fixing of things, nothing. And so the GF says, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm in the mood for a movie. And we're trying to figure out, because we're not going to watch anything new because it sucks. She says, what about McClintock? I'm like, hell yeah. It is a great late morning for McClintock. And if you don't know anything about McClintock, John Wayne movie, obviously you saw the cover. It's a Western version of Taming of the Shrew. And what's great about McClintock is it's a movie, and that means you don't have to read Shakespeare or whoever the hell wrote Taming of the Shrew. You don't have to read is my whole point, which, same thing with Lord of the Rings. You don't have to read that book. You just watch they'll inevitably make, if it's good, they'll inevitably make a movie out of it. And so McClintock is just this borderline Western musical. There's no musical pieces in it, but it's very much a play. And it's about a man whose estranged wife comes back to the country. And there are so many things in that movie that they knew about. We haven't discovered anything new. We just rediscovered everything feminism and hate and Marxism and socialism hid. This has been known for years, generations, millennia. And it's a Karen. She's estranged. She's barking orders at John Wayne, her ex-husband, because their daughter's in town. She wants the daughter to move to New York with her, not stay on the ranch, blah, blah, blah. And that's the main plot, and how John Wayne tames his wife, tames the shrew. I'll tell you right now, go get a copy of it, because the left and feminists are going to try and fucking burn this thing like Nazis do books. They're going to try to make it, because you can't let this truth get known. And it's about how he's trying to maintain the peace and do all this. And he says, that's it. I've had enough. And I'm not going to ruin the last scene for you because it's spectacular. But now I've seen this movie many times before, but holy cow, I don't know what it was this time. So many other things jumped out at me that I even had to make a list. And the main takeaway of this is we knew this shit. All the stuff we talk about modernly, I got on this list, and that movie was 62, 63. They knew it. This isn't new. And because they knew it back then, there's some empiricism through behavior. Eons that these are rules and laws of humanity. This was all true. This wasn't shtick. It's not made up. And so I'm just going to go through all these observations I had, and then you got to watch it. You have to watch it. Now, it's not my favorite movie. It's one of my favorite movies. This isn't like, oh, you're going to watch it necessarily for the theatrics and the movie. It's a good movie unto itself. But this is such a based red pill movie. They will try to get rid of it. Or certainly put, this was made in different times when men spanked their women. You're goddamn right it was. Oh, my God. Oh gosh, it's just so because we modern people in our modern times know so much with our $37 trillion in debt and people burning down buildings. We know so much now. We're so much more evolved and advanced. So here's something. Not all of it's necessarily dating red pill, but just truth bombs. Right. First, it's got a male feminist. John Wayne's daughter comes back from the East Coast. She goes to college. We'll get into that later. And she brings a young Jerry Van Dyke, which was Dick Van Dyke's brother. I lost a bet on that. And all the actors are great. Jerry Van Dyke just plays this schmuck, plays this East Coast hat wearing schmuck. And without getting too far into the weeds, he's got the hots for John Wayne's daughter, right? And he's doing all the right good boy points. He's like a modern day, he's a male feminist. He's a modern day Christian feminist male. Oh, good boy points. Do I touch peen now? One touch peen. Well, there's a rival suitor to him. And this is the honest, good-looking, strong farmhand who his family settled in the area. They're new to the area, and he got a job with John Wayne's ranch, and he, yes, sir, no, sir, and he works hard. And it shows you where the male feminist is saying all the right things. All the girls are tickled with him, but he's not attractive. And they have different scenarios and scenes where the hardworking young farmhand is doing the right thing and he's being masculine and fixing things. He gets in a fight and he wins. And you can see the girl just biting her lip like, oh, that's what I want. They want the brutish masculine man. They don't want, no offense to the actor, Jerry Van Dyke. He was playing a character. They don't want the male feminist. I don't care how much you want the mass. He doesn't, not necessarily a card-carrying Republican, but these soy boy Democrat pussies you kept ordering, you got them. You don't want them though, and that's very plainly obvious here. Related, both Jerry Van Dyke's character and the daughter, their characters went to college. And she's like, well, you didn't go to college, to the farmhand. He's like, well, I went to community college for a little bit, but I couldn't afford it. I had to come out and help my old man on his ranch. And his dad passed away. That's why he's working for John Wayne. And she tries to do the girl boss thing. She tries to, well, you didn't go to college. Herman or whatever the guy's name is, he lettered in college. There's this emphasis on college that obviously is the same thing today. Meanwhile, oh my God, it shows you how completely worthless college is. Jerry Van Dyke's doing this stupid dorky dance. And he plays the banjo, which Jerry Van Dyke actually did play the banjo in real life. But he's useless. He's useless. He can't stop a fight, let alone win one. He doesn't know how to ride a horse. And it's the old blue collar, white collar, tradesman versus college educated putz. And she's just hoodwinked. Well, you're not a gentleman. You're a ruffian. Oh my God, you're dirty and you're one of the help. But yeah, at the end of the day, you want a masculine man. And so it just they show college educated people in the vast majority of instances for the idiots that they are. There's a very clear distinction between masculine men and soy boys, where there are fights, but they're honorable, which is another thing about this, the movie. Men are getting into fights, but they're fighting fair. And they're fighting with honor and like, okay, you won, and they're friends afterwards. The girls are appalled, clutching their pearls, but, twisting their ankles and like, and there's Jerry Van Dyke. The girl says, somebody ought to do something. And Jerry Van Dyke takes out his glasses. Yes, somebody most certainly should do something. Yes, you're correct. And all the politicians are in it too. They're the soy boys too. They're the dapper gentlemen and all that. And just the cowboys are the real ones doing all the work. Oh, there's a big old fight. Big old fight. on the tailings hill of the mine. Everyone's just getting a good old fist fight, having a good old time. So that it shows you, yeah, violence, if used correctly with honor, is a good thing. It's how men settle shit. Of course. I'm gonna hunt down. Really? Thank you. Never get a Logitech camera. They used to be, you could never get a Logitech camera. So there's that. It actually shows you masculinity, and it's not toxic. It shows you what men will do, with rules. They don't just, some bad guy. Really? Are we going to do this again? Soy Boys made Logitech cameras. It's true. There's good racial humor in relations. This is the Wild West, and there's a group of Comanche Indians, and they play a very good role, an important role in the movie. And it's no one, you couldn't get away with half the shit they're doing in that movie now. Oh, and then the cook, he's Chinese. And yeah, they're playing off of each other's cultural and racial traits. Like the Chinese guy, he's cooking, and McClintock's right-hand man, the Chinese guy swears he's gonna leave the family because he's getting replaced as the cook, and he's been there for 30 years. And McClintock's right-hand man says, "You're not leaving, because if you do, I'm gonna cut your ponytail off, and you can't get to heaven then." Oh God, we can't do that now. But it's funny because they actually like the guy. That's why they're teasing him about. They want him to stick around. There's a American Indian guy. He's in town. He's not with the actual tribe of Indians outside of town. He's in town, and he's a bookkeeper, and he's the telegrapher. He's got skills. He's got trades. He's important. And they say, like, does anyone say, "Hey, bookkeeper, go do this. Hey, telegrapher, go do that." Say, "Hey, let the Indian do it." He's like, "You are an Indian." Birnbaum, he's Jewish. He's East Coast. He's got the New York accent, and he's Jewish. And there wasn't any really Jewish jokes going on around there, but he's just playing chess with the guys. It's like, holy shit. This is what happens when there are Karens around. We could just poke fun at each other and get along. So there's, and then, there's another plot with the Indians, and John Wayne's character goes and speaks for them in front of a council and all this, but it's well, like the movie itself, you have all these intertwining subplots going on, but they did a brilliant job. Not too long, not too short. You're not confused what's going on. So it's not just, McClintock taming his wife. It's not just, there's other things going on. Shit testing. McClintock's daughter sees the rugged, handsome farmhand, and you can see her like get an idea. They knew it. They knew women shit tested you. "Excuse me, can you help me tie that?" "Yeah, I can help you tie that." And then she falls off the ladder, and he catches her, like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh, you are not allowed to hug me without my permission." "I don't want to hug you. I've prevented you from falling off the ladder." And he like lets her, drops her, like, "I have no intention of hugging you." And then he goes back to doing her work, and she's like, they knew it. They knew about shit tests before any of us were born. Were any of you born before 1963 or whenever this movie came out? No, you weren't. One that I didn't catch before, which I really appreciate now, was not spoiling your children. They had the answer. George McClintock had the answer. How to break the Heinlein cycle, is that it? Where it's good times create weak men men create bad times create strong men create good times. There's a speech he gives his daughter. He's like, "Honey, you're going to have a lot of guys coming after you because you're good looking, and everybody knows I'm wealthy." He's a wealthy landowner. He owns a lot of land. He says, "But sweetheart, you're not going to inherit any of this. I'm going to give you 500 head of cattle and a small piece up on the upper Green River, which is more than me and your mother ever had. And the reason I'm doing is because I love you. Because there's nothing better, you can have all the cattle and the money in the world, but there's nothing better than what me and your mother had, starting with nothing and building up my empire. He says, when you're older, you'll see that I love you. I'm like, holy shit, we had the answer there too. By the way, rich people, stop spoiling your children. They're nothing spectacular. They're quite inferior because they've had life on easy mode. I don't give a fuck if they're your genetics. Like you rich people sure do know how to run businesses, but the fuck if you know how to raise children. And there was John Wayne like, hey, money spoils you, prevents you from building something and working hard and appreciating other people. And if you find the right man, this is back when they got married, by the way. People were getting married. I can't believe like 3 couples were getting married in this. They were happy about it. The gal wanted to divorce McClintock. She was the villain in this show. The whole idea of struggling and working and building something, presumably with your spouse that you love, is better than any kind of money you could. Now we have these things called families, but you girls have your master's degree. You don't want to raise a family if you're unfortunate. Like if you fail, if one gets through the hockey net or the goalie, right? And you don't abort it, I mean, oh my God, then you got to have it. Well, thank God you got daycare. You can also, well, in this, they were raised by the parents. I know, it's work of fiction. But yeah, the whole idea, the speech he gives in that where he's talking to his daughter is just incredibly well and succinctly written, better than what I could explain here. But he explains the importance of love. He explains what's most important in life and how you do need struggle, and that's why he's not and constant. I'll give you the from an economist standpoint. What I love most about it is we keep fucking shit up. We don't make progress. If you look at the cycle in terms of quarters, we get like 1 quarter of progress and then we fuck it all up. Then we make another quarter of progress, then we fuck it all up for 3 more quarters. That's a 25% efficiency rate. If we put that into practice, what John Wayne says in his little speech to his daughter, we get 100% production, because you rich fuckers would stop spoiling your children and turning them into the fucking psychopaths that inevitably run our government's institutions and corporations. What happened to that CEO in the healthcare? What happened? I heard something happened to that guy. So that was amazing. That was like, oh my God, we've known it. Someone knew it. Someone in the writing. Could you imagine a Hollywood writer wrote that? Imagine that. Hollywood not being a bunch of spoiled brat socialist quanta-ha-has. Like somebody in Hollywood wrote that about the importance of, building something with a loved one. Oh my God. Now they're just like, oh no, they're trans. I talked about the shit test. Oh, and then finally is the spanking of women, which I am pro. More in a fun. Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? A guy gets spanked twice a lot of spanking going on in this. Now that I think about it, the mayor of the town, he gets spanked by an Indian gal twice. A lot of spanking was good. Spanking is necessary for society, but as it pertains to the overarching plot of the movie, without giving too much away, McClintock's daughter and the farmhand, they have an argument, and it turns out she's definitely in the wrong. And John Wayne's character, George McClintock, he's kind of the judge, and she kind of being a pain in the ass, and he ends up letting the guy spank his daughter because he almost thought he got killed. You'll have to see it. You'll have to see it. And he's all like, I'll show you. And so he's about to spank her, and McClintock just puts a metal pan in his hand. It's for digging out coals from a fire. It's like a paddle about like that big. He's like, here, you'll need this. He just starts spanking his daughter in front of John. John Wayne goes in there, lights up a cigar. This is justice. She was out of line. And then the wife of McClintock just keeps digging the heels into him, just keeps pissing him off and being dramatic, being a royal pain. And then he breaks and he has it. And in one of the scenes, I'm not giving it away because it's on the thumbnail, he hunts his wife down and in front of the whole town gives her a spanking because she just went too far. And that's it. There's the shrew, the taming of the shrew, setting boundaries. I would love to discuss the conversation him and some of the other guys have where words no longer work and now we have to come up with a different solution. I would like to repeat what they said, but I can't because this is a movie that's got way too many truths. And I'm not advocating violence, by the way. That's not what I'm advocating here. But yeah, sometimes a good old spanking is in order. And what is hilarious is, oh my God, did you know that at the end, the women like the men? At the end, the gal and the guy, the young farmhand and the daughter, they like each other. If you could imagine that. Even the whole fake feigning of indignation, like, oh my goodness, it's all there. It's all there in a 2-hour beautiful movie. And what I love about it is, you got to think, well, geez, by the way, I'm not saying you actually go and spank your women. It's a metaphor. It's about holding boundaries. I guess a modern day version would be American Beauty, but it's always good to have a little right in the ass. If it's fun. Look at this. I got to qualify. I got to caveat all this because everyone's a fraggy-vaggy out there. Like, he's for abusing people. But what I love about it is like this is a big bit of data from 50 years ago, 70 years ago. It's like, you guys aren't wrong. We talked about this. Here. Here's a movie with all these lessons and rules that you guys think you just uncovered recently. No, it's been there the entire time. And I'm sure if I went through there and looked at it more, but I was shocked just how many things that are the forefront of today's conversations, ranging from college to girl bosses to masculinity and fighting and honor among men, along with taming of the shrew or holding boundaries or quote unquote disciplining. I like the fact that culminates in spanking. It's all right. Everyone had a good time. And then, oh my God, telling women no actually sometimes makes them more attracted to you instead of being the compliant beta pussy fuck. A college degree. You guys got to see Jerry Van Dyke doing the day. It's hilarious. Watch it. Everyone should watch it. Ladies, watch it too. You might get it. Oh. And then think about how long ago it was. Like, oh, that's how long ago it was. And I get a DVD, get a Blu-ray copy of it. I got a copy of McClintock because they're gonna. That's Chad and Mr. Elkins' favorite movie, I think, to watch. I think they watch McClintock every Christmas or something. It's a great movie. I mean, it's a good movie too, but there are so many good lessons in it, and so much. I guess this movie eliminates so much confusion. You're like, oh. So if you haven't seen it, you got to see it, guys. It's great. It's really good. Let's go to the super chats real quick. Great regression, $10 here and the Warrior. When are you going to drop the South Dakota internet? Get Starlink. Take it with you on the road. YouTube is going to take like 30% of this. Why not try moving to X? Because X doesn't have the platform. Okay, here's the real reason. I'm too busy. Also, in my last third of life, I am moving more towards a cruising altitude. I've done enough elevation gain. I want to just cruise. Not coast, cruise. I don't want to set up more usernames, passwords. I don't want to learn how to multi-stream. If I get demonetized or kicked off of YouTube, fine. Then I'll deal with it. All right. But there's always more to do. And it is up to the workaholic to say, this is enough and no more. And like today is the first day in a long. I mean, look, here I am even doing a video. Today is the first time in a long time that I'm like, nope, I'm doing nothing and relaxing. I got pastries and unhealthy food at the cafe, brought it back home. I'm not having the last third of my life going, and that includes more usernames and passwords in this platform and that when it comes, I'll go to Twitter. I already have a Rumble account. I don't use it all that much. And here's the other thing. I've tried to simulcast. I'm tired of like this thing they say is you can do it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna simulcast. And then Rumble's, oh no, we don't have your link correct. Like, okay, fine. Then you don't when it is easy, and I'm not gonna waste an hour fucking with basically tech troubleshooting, I'll do it. But right now, I don't need to make more money. You're right. I probably do need to diversify and make sure I have a plan B. But you know what? It will be a welcome week-long hiatus if I happen to be kicked off of YouTube or whatever. We're okay. I'll just set up the alternative platforms, and there we go. It's not to harp on, but have you ever had like a full day off where you don't even worry about it, right? Like having the time off is only half the formula. It's mentally not worrying about anything that entire day. I don't want to worry about it. I just don't want to worry about it. James, $10. Favorite Robotech series? There is one wrong answer. Well, Macross Plus was a pretty good movie. But out of the three, my favorite one as an adult would probably be the Macross Saga, followed by the Invid Invasion, and then the middle one. The middle one was horrible. Just horrible. But my hero was Scott Bernard when I was a young kid. Michael Kingswood, $5. You're right about this one. It's good. 1 out of 2 ain't bad, but you're still wrong about Scrooged. It's great that in this country, which you fought for, sir. Thank you for your service. It's great that in this country you can also be wrong. That's why I had to learn about this country. Man, there's so many people who are wrong about so many things, and that's all right. You can still love them, you know. It's all right, Michael. You can you can waste your time on Scrooge. It's all right, but as long as it makes you happy, you know. My childhood dog liked to eat its own shit, but you know, if you want to watch Scrooge, I don't care. He's happy. He's happy. Hey, Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. Hey, Cappy, why don't you set up Streamlabs or Cash App to receive more of the super chat money? Because I don't want to. I did try to set up Streamlabs, OBS, and it was a pain in the ass. It was a royal pain in the ass. Maybe I'll look at Cash App. Maybe I'll look at Stream. You're right. You're every one of you is right. I want to have a day of eating bad food and sit on my ass and not worry about it. That's what I want to do. I want to get more into hands-on stuff. Like I did a paint job on my car, just one panel, not the whole thing. That brought me more joy. I mean, not that I don't mind doing these videos. There was something about, oh yeah, I could just throw on my headphones and wrench on something. And it comes out better than what it was before. Ray John, too Canadian. The new game trailers show girl boss pro tags. Yeah, they can. I hope they do. Wasn't there one? Was it Veilguard that had all the LGBTQ woke? Their main tags were all political, and I think out of the 6 tags that are your top tags that show, the 6th and final one was RPG. Hey, you developers want to make horrible games. You want to make political propaganda? Go ahead. You're doing us a favor. Look, everyone wins, okay? You guys get to think you're saving the world, all right? You get to do your politics, which is more important than profits. The corporation loses hundreds of millions of dollars. we are notified that it is leftist propaganda and no one buys it. And it's like the .com days. You guys are going to have a job for a couple of years and then you'll never have a job again in this field. Macan, 156. Tetsuo. 14 Canadian. Just finished watching Fallout TV show. I really like it with Goggins. Is really good actor. Last time when I had so much fun from watching TV series was 25 years ago. Twin Peaks. Go watch it again as an adult. And you're like, oh, they're just permutating every possible relationship with everyone in the town. That's it. That's it. Once you see the formula, you're like, oh yeah, this is bad. I did like Coop. I like Coop. Batman. You're 100%. You are correct. Batman is the best animated series ever. Spawn. HBO animated series. I don't know. Spawn. Thomas Crown, $5. Cappy, how did you end up with a GF who is 5'11"? Were you wearing lifts or something like that on a first date? No, I don't know. She just liked me. I mean, we met in dance class. So I demonstrated, situational alpha. I'll be the first to admit. It's not my charming fucking personality that wins women over. That's for sure. She just seemed to like me. And she started cooking food. You have to ask her. I liked her because she was hot enough to fuck. She cooked great food. She was nice. That was it. I had dated enough girls. I'm done with this shit. There was one gal I dated who was pissed off because she knew I was dating multiple girls. She's like, you just like her because she cooks food for you, treats you nice. And that was kind of like, yeah. So I should like the one who hates me and treats me poorly and doesn't cook for me. That's why I realized it's not, among many other times, it wasn't me. And this woman was a little younger than me. It was Gen X. You girls are fucked up. Sorry, man. I'm sorry you get pissed off that, oh my God, you just like women because they treat you nice and cook for you. Okay, yeah, men are we're the problem. Okay. Robert S, $5. Those old westerns were so great. Grew up watching those with my dad. Outlaw Josie Wales, son of Katie Elder and Pale Rider are my favorites. Sons of Katie Elder. Those are kind of 70s ones. I prefer the spaghetti westerns. McClintock, though, a western, and it has John Wayne in it. It really is Taming of the Shrew with a different coat of paint on it. That's what it is. It's a charming, endearing one. But it is, I don't know if I consider it a western. You know what I'm saying? In terms of function. In aesthetics, yes, it's western. But in terms of function, no, it's a play about Taming of the Shrew. Oh, could you imagine a modern day one of that where instead of Maureen O'Hara as a pompous East Coast woman in the Wild West in like the 1890s, it's a Gen Z girl boss in a mini, and then some alpha guy just trains her and tames her. Oh, you could, it would make so much money because it'd be so controversial, and you wouldn't need a big budget for it because it's more of the story. Great Regression, $5. Maybe time to get a new and different webcam outlook too. Your Logitech clearly sucks. Yes, I know. But see, it never ends. And then I get a new webcam, and is that one am I gonna have to deal it? It doesn't end. Right now, I have a great philosophical debate in my mind where I got an extra can of semi-gloss. I didn't use all of it on the car. And I'm like, today, well, what if I went out there and sprayed the bench in the backyard because it gets hit by the sun? Is that work? Should I do that today? I kind of want to do that. But is it work? If I enjoy it, is it really work? Sam Whiskey, most American name in America, $5. McClintock spanks humans and Cappy spanks dogs. I do spank dogs when they misbehave. Yes, I spank. You do that because you care. If you weren't spanked, I know I'm going to get a ton of disagreement with Molyneux, Phil Foster, Zach Small, all three of which good men who raise their families. Not to say, and they have done the research. But discipline is a sign of love. They have different forms of discipline. And that's what I love about where John Wayne gives his daughter the speech. It's not really discipline, but he's like, you're not inheriting this. I'm giving you something greater. Look, if you want all positive reinforcement and hugs and cake and welfare, go talk to liberal white women who work as social workers. And you tell me what a great job them in the welfare state have done getting poor people out of poverty. You cannot have cake. I'm sorry. You cannot have the carrot. You need the stick. And I will argue that the stick, if there's some people would say both. Nah, give me the stick. Just give me the stick. If I have to choose one, I'll take the stick every time because the carrots don't work. 5N, 4K, 3 dork, $2. McClintock equals Western taming of the shrew. Yeah, like I said, Sam Whiskey, most American name in America, $5. McClintock reminds me of the movie Mars Needs Women. I never saw that one. James, that's, you know what? For a Netflix and chill night, you guys should just have a girl you're dating, like when it's time for her to come over for movie night, like if you're at that stage, have her watch McClintock. Just see what happens. Oh my God, I can't. Next. James, $5. Good ranking, and Scott Bernard being your hero. That tracks. Yeah. He was nowadays, Scott Bernard was fighting for his lost fiance, and then he had to find a new reason to fight. I mean, there's a lot more going on in that third chapter that people realize. He makes friends with Rand. He kind of reforms his family. Vengeance is what motivates him at first, but then he finds another reason to fight. I have to admit, I am no longer the heroes I aim to become. There's so few people I give a shit about. I went like, what? Oh, no. There's a couple episodes there in the third chapter where they come across a town that's like, no, we're okay with the Invin invasion. We're fine. We're alive. Yeah, but that one against many principled, I'm going to do the right thing. No, it's long gone. If I had a culture or society that was an absolute fat pig garbage, I might, but I'm kind of like, why do I know? Daniel Penny. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Daniel Penny? He freed us from ever having the responsibility to do what's right ever again. Thomas Crown, $5. You've probably already seen this, but the female accuser of the Duke lacrosse players from 2006 has recently admitted she simply made it up. I thought we knew that all along. I will wait for a district attorney to prosecute her and arrest her. I will. Until that happens, I don't care. Sam Whiskey, $2. Cappy, Die Hard or American Beauty? Well, Die Hard. Like, which is the best one? It's Die Hard. Exceptional movies. Which one has more lessons? American Beauty. I mean, if you want, go watch American Beauty and watch McClintock. They're both kind of somewhat taming of the shrews. American Beauty less so. But Die Hard is just the best movie ever made. Great Regression, $5. Your complaints are all valid. Might be time to put in the work to change your circumstances, right? No, I don't need to change my circumstance. I just need to work less. That's it. Now my buddy might sell the Southern Command. He hasn't talked about it, but that might end. But no, I don't. I would still come down. I'd spend the money on a winter place. I'd still snowbird at least 3 months out of the year. But my circumstances are fine. I just need to work less. That's all. Akimoto Akira, $2. Trollop. That's right. He called me a trollop. Shoot him, Daddy. Shoot him now. Well, what did he do? That's a charming scene where she demands her father shoot the farmhand. Oh, all right. There you guys go. Questions, answers, Asshole Consulting. Link below is Bachelor Economics, the financial advice Bible for men. Get you guys' financial life together. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.